50 episodes, 6 years, countless battles, triumphs, betrayals, and legends forged in the depths of the Iron Realm. From the first trembling steps into the darkness to the hard-won victories carved in the blood and stone, we've braved ancient runes, uncovered secrets best left buried, and stood defiant before gods and monsters alike. Tonight we celebrate not just a number, but a legacy. The bonds we've forged, the stories we've shared, and the world we've shaped together. Welcome, adventurers, to the episode 50 of Iron Realm. So let the legends continue.
Thank you. Great job. Welcome, adventurers.
Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Welcome.
It is huzzah, huzzah.
Huzzah.
Glad that everybody is here with us, and we will. I guess the best thing to do is for everybody to introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
I'll start. I'm Chris, and I am the DM for and creator of the Iron Realm. And this guy who's sitting next to me is
Graham,
and you've played several times with us, right?
Yep.
Online as well as offline in campaigns. So, starting them out young. So, next up we have Allison.
I'm Allison. I play Theo and Kat, and I think we had a couple of recordings with Minx. It's been too long, I don't remember.
Several characters, and you can name all your characters, everybody. Next up, we have Bradley.
Well, hello. And also, Graham and Allison are also a creation of our Dungeon Master. So,
Yes, they are.
That's true.
Monsters.
I'm Bradley, and I joined Chris. We'll get into this later, but yeah, I've played a bunch of characters, and we'll talk about them as we go on with the night. And I still remember when you started the camp after the birthday campaign. You said we're going to start a regular weekly campaign. I said, what night is it on? And you went Wednesday. I'm like, oh man, sorry, I can't do Wednesdays. But then the time for the first game started coming up, and I was like, maybe I can make it work. Check it out. And so I've been making it work for 6 years now. So there we go.
Next up, we have David.
Hello, I'm David. I've only played Q in this campaign, but I've had a few other characters. Just for note, I'm over 6 feet tall, and most of my characters are under 3. And I also tend to play very erratic and very ADHD characters. The current one that I'm playing is Q. He is a 3 foot tall halfling cleric who joined the campaign literally naked, and has slowly gathered just enough armor to keep himself from being killed, and currently wears a colander on his head. That is my guy, and you will hear more of his exploits later.
Next up, we have Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I play Erin Stonefell. Let's see. She's an elf paladin, level 5. She comes from the frozen Northlands. She fights for the innocent in the name of the true dog, under a banner of an oath to glory. And may the light of the true dog shine in your hearts, fellow warriors.
Then we have Rhea.
Hello, I am Rhea. I have played Lominde in this current campaign, and off camera I have a character named Valen, who consistently got her name mispronounced, as it is. It happens. For those who may not know, I am or was Sadface, Allison's college roommate. We met during spring break of 2022. And sometime last year, I remember expressing interest in wanting to play D&D, and y'all were in the middle of the holiday campaign at that time, I think. The holiday that campaign that went all the way until March. But
You're having too much fun.
I know.
St. Patrick's is a holiday.
And I've been in a couple campaigns that never really got off the ground, so that was my first time actually doing anything, and it has been so much fun. I'm sad when I have to miss it. And contrary to David, I am 5'4", but both of my characters thus far have been 6'5" or taller.
Last but not least, we have Matt.
Hey guys, I'm Matt. So I am currently playing Tolnar. Throughout the years, you've seen me play Jeff, Dimitri, and Lave. Not quite sure how many of those have been recorded. I know definitely Jeff has been on, because I referenced that quite a few times. That whole, thing with him with that Rows of Eyes. But I started playing with Chris and the group that have been here for a while, since 2020. Actually, I think March or May. Give me a second. May of 2020 actually is when I actually started playing. And that just ended up because I made a post on social media, and one of my friends that I've worked with ended up playing with the group and invited me over, and Tolnar was the first character I've ever made, and he's now level 7. So yeah, it's been a wild and crazy time through actual life and through the D&D life. So it's been fun, and I've really enjoyed the time I've actually spent playing.
Thank you all. Glad that everybody is here. We've invited everyone that has played D&D with us, but unfortunately a lot still have to work and still have other things going on with regular life. And as we always say, family and work and life come first. It's when we first started, or I first started the Iron Realm and started thinking about it. It was just by happen chance that a group of theater folks here in Little Rock that I'm friends with, they were talking about doing D&D, and I said, hey, I've got a great idea for a story. Would you guys like me to run this campaign? Turns out that it was called, it didn't have a title at the time. It ended up becoming Silver Pact, which is one of our in-person games that we've done in the past. But through that, it blossomed into the birthday campaign that I did with 16 people shoved around a table in a game shop, and fighting amongst ourselves on 4 tables squished together with 16 people trying to battle it out and fight, and also have a Pokemon tournament going on right next to us.
So loud.
And being full of Mexican food from the Mexican restaurant next door. I vowed that any games that I did in the future would be less than 16 people, because I wanted to be able to, one, get through the adventure, but also it's just very hard to manage that many. So 7 or 8 people is basically our maximum that we can do. But that 16 that campaign with 16 people ended up becoming the weekly Wednesday Warriors, which blossomed into the Iron Realm that we know and love and are a part of.
It was a level 10 campaign.
Yes, it was a level 10 or higher campaign.
and Chris gave us all these little gift boxes.
Yes.
And they had little trinkets. I remember Graham put some pebbles in there, and then there was some candy,
Throw those right here.
and so whoever opened the box, if you ate the candy, you went unconscious. And then the combat started after that, so it lessened, it pared down the number of combatants significantly. I was playing a dwarf rogue named Thin Out Flint Cloak, and that was my first time in the Iron Realm, and I've been hooked ever since.
And Allison, you were at that campaign too, weren't you? Because that's the first time that we were introduced to minks.
Yes, I was. I was 16 at the time. Oh my gosh.
And you are now
I am now 22 years old.
almost 20.
And fresh out of college. Which is insane to think about. And I still remember we also had t-shirts.
Yes.
For that event as well.
Yes.
And I ended up having to hide mine because my mom did not approve of me playing D&D at the time.
Yep.
Sorry, shout out.
We had one of our players, he and his sneakiness got everybody's name and their character name and put the module cover on the back with the name, and or on the back was the module, and on the front was, or something to that. I can't remember. The name
got one of those shirts.
Was on the front. That's what it was. But yeah, that boy, that brings back a lot of memories. I actually have someone's T-shirt that never got to pick it up.
I never got one. What size is it?
This is, I think, a large, and it and it specifically had a person's name on the back of it. So, that was kind of a surprise. He said, "Oh, you're really hurting my knees." Ow. But yeah, the thing is, unfortunately, John, who plays Zechariah in our game, John and I have known each other since college. And I had played D&D, as most folks here played D&D when I was a kid, and I never really got into it that much. I played in middle school D&D. Where are you going? Make up your mind. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. Trying to get the earpiece back in. But I played, like most people, I played in like a D&D club in middle school, and it was fun, but we really didn't understand the mechanics and really didn't get into it that much. Yeah, I know. But by the time I got into college, it was becoming a bigger thing with myself and this group that we called, what was it? I can't even remember. The round table was our group, and each one, like the president of our group, which was John, was King Arthur. I was Lancelot. So everybody in the group had a different knight name, and we played games all the time. And so my love for D&D and other RPGs, including I'm drawing a blank on it at the moment. Vampire the Masquerade and Shadowrun was a big one for us. And then, of course, we had tabletop games that we played too. So the prospects of being able to game were endless. But when I got done with college, really didn't have that opportunity to do it again. So someone saying, "Hey, I want to play D&D," I was like, "Ooh, I really want to get back into that." And now I had an opportunity, and it has steadily transformed into what we have now. And celebrating our 50th episode online and through YouTube, thank you, YouTube, with this particular campaign has just, it has blossomed. it has blossomed so much. We've got all of our Christmas campaigns, as Allison mentioned, or Rhea had mentioned, sorry. The Christmas campaigns are always in the kingdom of Aphometh, which is the kingdom of the 5 baronies. And then when we first started out, all of our campaigns and our missions and everything were in the kingdom of Ithaca. And because, unfortunately, COVID hit at such a time, we could not go to the game shop that we were going to play. And so we went...
Backups.
We went into... everybody went into lockdown, but we still wanted to do stuff together. And so we started a campaign, which happened to be Er'fro'ren, in the kingdom of Asterag. And that one has gone 50 episodes up till now. Actually, it went 49 episodes because we completed the mission last week. Yay! And so yeah, it's been a journey to get here. And yes, we did have a hiatus. As
3 years. Yeah.
You know, the main thing with that is just being able to recharge my batteries as a dungeon master, but also having you guys continue to encourage me as friends and family to kind of jump back into it, and not give up on what was going on and what could potentially go on. So here we are.
My first D&D wasn't D&D. My stepbrother at the time got me involved. He said, "Hey, you want to play this game?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure." And it was Steve Jackson's game's fantasy trip into the labyrinth. And so he told me about, this is what you do and everything. And so he said, just make up a fantasy character. I was 10. And so I'm thinking, okay. And so the coolest character I could possibly think of was a Smurf. And so I made a Smurf, magic user Smurf, named Flying Charlie, and that was my first ever RPG character. And despite the fact that he had a little hang glider he could use, some bad rolls ended up breaking the hang glider, and Flying Charlie went to his flaming death in a pool of lava. So, rip Flying Charlie. And I've been playing ever since. And like you said, I played Vampire, I've played Champions, Shadowrun, Travelers, Marvel RPGs, DC, James Bond one. It's just a whole bunch of, and it's just been kind of my second life ever since.
I know David could probably attest to having played when the D&D originally came out, or shortly thereafter, right, David?
Yeah, my first games were what would be considered D&D and advanced D&D, way back when they came in box sets with plastic dice that you had to color in with a crayon so that you could see the numbers on. The books were very, very small and I would say very, very clear to read, but our games were much more free form and wild and woolly way back in the early days of 19 yeah, my sordid youth, and then after a few years of being a player, I said, I can be a DM, and wound up becoming a forever DM. And anybody who's been on the backside of the screen knows once you're on that side, it takes a series of significant rolls to get back on the other side of the screen. Mm-hmm. So when I had the fortune or misfortune of running into Chris or running over Chris. He said, "Oh, we're playing D&D," and I went, "Which version?"
Yeah.
Because there was D&D, AD&D 2, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, and 5. So I had to make sure I was on the right schedule. And the first time he invited me to play, we talked about playing, and I developed the character of Q as my first character to come in. But due to a lack of communication, we never decided what Q's possessions and armor and weapons would be. So his introduction into the campaign was literally naked.
Mm-hmm.
He came in wearing a loincloth and a holy symbol, proceeded to chew bubblegum and kick whatever was available. I mean, when you're only 3 foot tall, there's not a lot you can kick.
Kicking butt, that's for sure.
And then from then on out, he's really just been an agent of chaos and goodness, or goodness and chaos, mainly because my ADHD means I wander off, which means he wanders off, which means things happen.
Yes. And things tend to progress a little bit faster once the DM sees Q or whatever player, whatever token that David has at the time that starts moving across the board on its own. It's like, oh, everybody else better catch up. But I think Q came into that particular brawl, with the loincloth on and pretty much nothing else. But you ended up killing the cook, and that's how you ended up with the colander on your head.
I killed the cook, and I got the colander as my helmet. Mm-hmm. You guys convinced me to wear a colander as a helmet, and I said only if it would give me a +1 to the armor class. I took his cleaver, and that is the great axe that I'm using as a weapon. And technically I'm only wearing a chainmail shirt because it was the size suited for the villain that I killed, which was human or greater. And of course, me being a halfling makes it a full-size tunic on me. And that's what my character has been wearing ever since.
Barely dragging the floor.
Wielding a meat cleaver, basically naked, wearing a mail shirt held on by I think it was somebody's armband, which I'm now wearing as a belt. Mm-hmm. And I ride whatever mount that I can find, because my little stubby legs won't help me keep up, which means I've been on a variety of sheeps, goats, dogs, or any other 4-footed creature that I can convince Chris to let me jump on and or tame.
Yeah. Rest in peace, U1 and U2.
Yeah, in this case, U1 and U2.
We have U3.
My current
U3 is up and running now.
And we are on Sanyu.
Sanyu.
Which is number 3 sheep.
That's awesome. And I guess, Matt, as far as you playing with us, yeah, you started off joining us because of Ami, who was a regular member of our campaign.
We miss you and me.
Since the year before, we miss Ami definitely, and but in
amigos,
and Matt started with us, and obviously he's got his entire room blurred out behind him, but this is a guy who bought everything associated with D&D, including math rocks and books, and I mean, you went all out.
Yeah,
because like, you didn't have those shelves when we first started. You had a table and a couple of things, and then it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. So, I don't want to see what your bank account is.
Nothing to see there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, not only that, Chris, I mean, not only did I, able to get, quite a few different books, throughout the time. I've also commissioned when I was working in corrections as a nurse, as a correctional nurse. I was lucky enough to be able to take advantage of the, hobbycraft there. So not only have I, bought in books, but I've also gotten, a leather dice tray with the, tops custom made. Also ended up making my own potions of healing, which you can see the top of the carrier right there that was also made just for those. And, from hobbycraft, from the prison when I worked there. I mean, it's been a little over 5 years. First time I've ever played D&D or any tabletop RPG, it was with you guys. And from there, I mean, I've DM'd for a group of people that fell through. DM a little bit of Curse's Trod for this group, for a couple of people in this group. And not only that, but I've also did a one-shot, makeshift for Demolay Boys when they had their thing up in the Little Rock. Mm-hmm. But, it's been fun. I've enjoyed every bit of either DMing or playing. Heck, I still remember, what was it, the second or third game? Because I would start watching Critical Role and stuff like that, and because when I'm working, I can listen to it. You literally sit there and go, "Are you sure you've never played before?" Because I start catching the rules and stuff like that so quickly, and I'm like, "Yeah, no, this is the very first couple times I've ever played." And me goes, "Yeah, no, this is his, first time," because he was on the phone with me creating the character and asking so many questions. But once I started to get understanding on how the character's created and stuff like that, it just flew. And that's where, I came up with the concept of Jeff and, Dimitri and Lave. That's also, the big part of it is I've enjoyed not only creating characters, playing with people. I've enjoyed every aspect of being a player / DM. Because you have that creatability, but also that storytelling is a major thing when it comes to playing D&D games.
Definitely.
And I love that aspect more than anything else, is that storytelling.
Yeah. When D&D first started, there was the whole big demonic scare. And,
Satanic Panic.
Yeah, the Bible Belt really did not like D&D. And now we see D&D being an offshoot of theater, of music, of politics. We see it in, being used in schools, being used with kids who are autistic, who have ADHD.
Therapy, yeah. It's D&D therapy groups are out there.
I was going to mention that.
It is... it's weird to say this, but in my opinion, D&D is vital to being able to bring people out of their comfort zone and to be able to do something different. And for a couple of hours, being able to sit and be someone totally different and go, I would love to do this in my real life, but I can do it here. And whether we're negotiating a peace treaty, or we are traversing through caverns, or we're swimming through a sea, or we're finding treasure, or we're murder hoboing. Sometimes you just have to let go and relax and enjoy the possibility of something completely different that you can later go, that helped my therapy so much to be able to not have to, to vent or yell at anybody else. I can do it in game as my character, and it, justified.
When we started in Ithacoff, my first after the birthday campaign, when we started Weekly Wednesday Warriors, my first character was an embodiment of diversity. I love playing. His name was Nature Cosmos. He was a tiefling druid who then subclassed into Bard, and he was just amazing. He was a pan ace druid who just loved everybody except corrupt burgermeisters, and I loved him so much that after two of our characters got killed by a beholder, I went to Chris and I said, I want to switch characters because I did not want him to die. I basically made him an NPC in the realm. So look for him if you buy the module. He's a major NPC. And that's where I came up with Bronson! Bronson was your typical champion human fighter. Human champion fighter. He was a member of the local guard. He was a gnome tossing champion for Highwind Academy, fighting owlbears, go owlbears. And he was working as a captain of the guard. He was a personal guardian of the king in Highwind, King Dane. And he also hired himself out. And so he was basically working for nature. And when I switched out the characters, and so out went nature, who I cared very much about, and in came Bronson, who I cared nothing for. And I thought, well, this character gets killed off, huzzah! I don't care. Bronson is level 8 now, and in the other campaign, and will not die. And he was in this campaign when we started out. And so then I said, you know what? Bronson's not dying, so we switched out to Kingfisher Blue, who appeared out of nowhere in a barrel. He was in Highwind. He was working for nature as an apothecary. And then we brought him into Er'fro'ren, and he is smart. He's very smart. We got intelligence 16. But he thinks he's a lot smarter than he is, and that's where his catchphrase came from. Was like, he's smarter than you, and you know it. And he's kind of deluded himself into thinking that, and so that's one of his quirks.
I love the characters that all of you have built. The ones that have stayed for a little while, and the others that have stayed for a very long time. We do the holiday campaign specifically so we can take a break from the characters that we've built that have been going strong for so long, to give everybody a chance to have some creative juices flow, as well as for me to bring in kind of a holiday theme. The group has gone, and of course we haven't done these as recorded. I wish we did, but maybe we've only done one of the campaigns in recording, and maybe we'll be able to do that again this year. But the group has rescued Santa Claus, has gone up against the Krampus, gone up against
Kingfisher's first campaign was the holiday campaign. That's where I created him for. And then
let's see, we've done gone up against I'm trying to think what they are, China dolls, and possessed China dolls, and teddy bears in a toy store, and y'all have gone up against the Grand Confectioner, who was holding a peppermint dragon hostage. Peppermint dragon. If everybody can see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. There it is. But rescuing a peppermint dragon, and all sorts of fun stuff that are holiday themed. And then we go back into playing the regular games. But Matt has DM'd the Curse of Strahd, which eventually we'd love to go back to. John has offered to run, and remind me again of the name of the
Starfinder.
Starfinder, which is loosely based with Pathfinder.
The second edition is they're using the Pathfinder rules as a base of it, from what John was saying.
So, and that's more of a sci-fi type of campaign. So, we have lots of creative stuff.
Your home of Starfleet Academy.
Yeah, someday.
Right here.
That's another thing is that, there are so many different role-playing games that are out there. If you don't like one, there's another one that you can get involved in. There's Western, there's Cthulhu, there's superheroes, there's old stuff, new stuff that hasn't even been put out on the market yet. So
I'm still waiting for my Kickstarter game to come to be delivered, but it's a new Smurf RPG.
Sure.
So going back to the beginning,
I mean, Chris,
we're gonna play that.
you talking about new games? I mean, heck, I'm part of actually a Kickstarter for Brandon Sanderson. He's actually has a TTRPG based off his Stormlight Archive series.
No way.
So that
Wow.
yeah, and I actually had that Kickstarter, so I'm part of that. I'll be getting stuff like that in too. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone really noticed or not. I mean, I loved his series, and I mean, I have a couple of his leather-bound books.
Wow.
So that that Kickstarter series, is going to be a real interesting one to take a look at. So,
I wish I could go show y'all the bookshelf in the living room. My parents have that entire series, and also when he finished up Wheels of Time. I'm pretty sure.
I'd be for a Wheel of Time RPG too.
Oh, I mean, Ray, you say that, but behind these leather-bound books, I have all 5 books of the Stormlight Archives.
Yeah.
And I have, on the further side where you can't see, I have their leather-bound Elantris and stuff like that. So he's planning on making certain books for each era of the Cosmere. So it's going to be interesting, and that's going to be one that will be cool to see how that's going to play out with the series.
Allison,
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine. Allison, you actually played some D&D while you were in high school, right?
Yes, I did. I played with a couple of high school friends. We tried to continue during freshman year of college, but unfortunately kind of dropped. At one point, my boyfriend was actually the DM, which, fun fact, he might be joining us.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, I'm not going to say might be, I would say 90% chance he's going to be joining us. The group knows him because he also joined the holiday campaign halfway through. But he is he's very spellcaster.
A very sorely needed spellcaster.
Always. But Allison is also our resident dice collector. One, because her dad, me, has given her tons of dice for birthdays and Christmas and stuff like that. But she's also gotten sets for herself, so she's got quite a few different sets. And but you can never have enough math rocks. There you go.
I can show them without scrolling them.
Oh,
Gosh.
And in the middle is a bunch of D20s. So
And,
I act like I
old
haven't
school.
seen these before.
Allison is
they don't bring them out.
I get resident photographer, and has taken some photographs of D&D stuff for future use. And Matt, yeah, Matt and Bradley. I know we're all at the point. I mean, I've got a set. This is just one of about 30 that I've got with different dice and stuff in it. We can all attest to it. Math rocks.
Yeah, my big bag's for new players that haven't played before, so I give them a full set, let them pick them.
Yep, I did the same thing for Lisa, who Lisa and I are co-workers, but Lisa didn't have any math rocks of her own, and I surprised her with a set so that she would have them just in case she needed them. And you keep them at work, right?
I do. I made him roll for initiative the other day.
But Lisa, have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons before?
No, this is my first time.
And you started with episode 40 and have lasted the you and Rhea both have lasted 10 episodes with us. How have you enjoyed playing Dungeons and Dragons? I guess that should be the question I ask.
Well, I've actually really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed learning about all the different characters, but also learning about the different people that are playing. Because each of you guys bring a different personality, not just in your character, but your actual personality. Who you are as a person really shines through, and I appreciate each of you for your uniqueness. But I have to say, I actually fell in love with Bronson, and that's why I started watching you.
That's right.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I know he won't die, but I really liked him. I thought he was hilarious, and so Bronson is why I continued to watch from episode 1.
Lisa is actually started out as our number 1 fan. and the funny thing is, she came up, like, what was it, when we went on hiatus?
Yeah.
She actually came up, she knocked on my cubicle and she says, when are you going to have another episode? When are you going to do another episode? And I was like, we're taking a break right now. I've got some burnout. But Lisa she would come up to me every once in a while and she'd be like, when are you guys going to do another episode? I really want another episode. So, and it just so happened that we had a place at the table, which is one of the things that we always say is there is always room at the table. As long as it does
not for 16 people.
Yeah, just not for people. I listen, I don't mind having a gigantic table with that many people, but I'm gonna have to split the party. We're just gonna have to.
Hey, Chris, edit. Put a picture of Bronson here when she mentions, I'll find one and send it to you.
Six years running, Grain Soak Ale reigns supreme in the kingdom of Ithaca. Crafted by the Grain Soak brothers in small batches, originally served only in the Dusty Kettle Tavern in Balastavia, now served across the realms. A wine is just a wine, but an ale is a brew. Grain Soak Ale now served across Ithacoth and Asterag, not sold in Afameth. Drink responsibly, not suitable for halflings, gnomes, or fairies. But I'm, Lisa, I'm really glad that you and Rhea joined us. Rhea and Allison being roommates until the end of this year, because Allison is graduated and Rhea is moving to a house, correct? A house
Oh.
with other students.
So the plans changed just a little bit from when I last talked about it. I actually found a way with everything going on. I'm not going to get too into it because it's a little personal, but my health has kind of been up and down, really not consistent. So I've actually was able to get things evened out with the university. For those who don't know, which is everybody, I haven't talked about it. But I changed my major pretty late in the game. I used to be a music performance major. Then I was a political science major, and now I'm a journalism major with a political science and history minor. I'm just all over the place. So it's kind of up in the air if I'm going to have all of the requirements met by the end of the spring semester of 26. It may take me all the way through the winter semester. We're not sure. But I'm staying home in El Dorado, Arkansas. I don't really care putting that out there. No one's going to find me.
Sorry. That was really
Come
funny.
on now.
Don't. So I am moving back to my hometown for the foreseeable future, just until we can figure out what's going on with me physically.
Okay.
It's all fine. It's not like it's not like cancer or like a life-threatening situation. It's just I am a major fall risk. My ankles roll all the time, so I'm hurting and I have some long-term knee injuries from busting my butt. You can ask Allison.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
First day of class, freshman year. Fun story. But it's just like, and rent is just off the wall in Fayetteville, and it's not getting any cheaper. So if I could avoid that and start saving, which is the plan. But in regards to D&D, this is my first campaign. I never actually, as I mentioned earlier, I never actually got to play. Very fortunate that Allison mentioned that y'all were in the middle of a holiday campaign. It was 30 minutes before my first session. It was like 5 p.m. She's like, "Hey, you can make a character for tonight. We can get you in right away." And I was like, "Are you sure? I don't want to." And so we speed ran character creation, and we popped right in.
Thank you, D&D Beyond.
I know.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
It's great to roll a character, but it's, when you want everything to help you to get ready to go and go straight in, D&D Beyond for sure. But
Fun fact about my current character, Lominde. So for those who might not know, for the audience also, I am a really big fantasy person. My dad is a really big fantasy person. So is my mom. So her name actually means something in one of Tolkien's Elvish languages. Lom, Lom, means to hide, and Inde is a general suffix, but it is also a personal pronoun. So her name quite literally means hide yourself, to hide yourself. And she is a rogue. Yeah. And I did that very intentionally.
That's awesome. Thanks for the explanation. Because I in the back of my mind, for whatever reason, it always wants to go to lemonade, and I know that's not right. So I had to write out, because I chopped up your other character's name so badly during the holiday campaign, but I wanted to make sure that I got your name right every single week. So, but yeah, thank you for that explanation. That is awesome.
So to appreciate D&D Beyond, you have to go back to when we were wee lads, and
oh yeah, right.
I couldn't even afford the character sheets back then. So on lined notebook paper, I'd make these characters, and the rules were so different back then. David would run one shots whenever on weeks that we weren't able to do, and I actually brought this character back to life for one of his campaigns. Hypno. I drew that myself. This was in middle school, and yep. And I don't know what it was about then, but back then, races and it says race magic user. I don't know what that was. What that was. And his So yeah, Beyond is a wonderful tool because you don't have to do this anymore. You can if you want to, but these are all my old middle school characters.
So let me ask each of you a question. As far as the Er'fro'ren campaign that everybody has watched for 49 episodes, what was the moment during the campaign that really sticks out to you? Whether it be an incident, it be a phrase, a character, NPC, or a player character, or action, something that happened during the course of the campaign. If you can't come up with anything, I certainly understand. I'm not gonna pressure you, but what is something that you guys really remember about the campaign that you really enjoyed? And in fact, it doesn't have to be about Er'fro'ren itself. It could be about one of the other campaigns, one of the other things that we've done.
Hey, Chris, So the one thing I've referenced multiple times, and I actually talked to people about, is when Jeff first played, which was a winter campaign, and you gave him the robe of eyes. Yep, you already know. And I mean, you asked what's something that sticks out, and it was, I've asked multiple times, are you sure you want to give him this? Because I know I have devil sight. And like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So when I had to end up using him, and we go down, is when we're going right before we went against Krampus. And I sit there and I'm like, and you go, well, it's dark. And someone goes, well, I have, dark vision. He goes, you're not still able to see. I went, Chris, I have devil sight. I can see magical with non-magical darkness. And you go, where's that found at? And I told you PBH 110, and you looked at it, and I just knew. You're like, I'll send you the map. And that just sticks so strongly, because it's something I'm like, I did not know you had that plan. I just thought devil sight, being able to see in magical and non-magical darkness, was really cool. And it just ended up being a big thing for that little one shot. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, need to find a monster that can pop all those eyes. And then you won't be able to use that. No.
Well, and I mean, with the 360 view and being able to see, visible things within, like, I think it's 10 feet, that right there is the main big thing with Robes of Eyes, and I can see even with my eyes closed. So it's one of those things I'm like, oh, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's one thing that DMs need to make sure that you are aware of when you give people magical items. Read the description completely before you give that, because like
those stat ones.
With the birthday campaign, and everybody when they got their box and opened it up, it had a set of dice and a little bag, as well as it had a couple of little stones and then pebbles that Graham put in when he was little. And it also had a magical item, one magical item on a card that was laminated, and everybody got to keep that particular item or whatever it was. And there were several people who were like, well, I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to use this, and then you've got Matt who reads incessantly and knows everything and remembers everything that he reads, and the DM is over here going, oh crud, they're not supposed to be able to see anything in this room, and he's got this cloak. I forgot about it.
Well, and the devil side's my Eldritch invocation.
Yeah.
So even without the cloak, I still could have seen in the dark in 120 feet. I just didn't have a 360 view of it.
How about the rest of y'all? What is something that you remember?
My absolute of all the characters I've made, and Lisa, thank you for the love for Bronson. He has become beloved at this point. But my absolute favorite character that I have made, it was for a holiday campaign, and my favorite moment in all of the Iron Realm was when Fox the Goblin, who is a chaotic, evil goblin wizard, but she's been released from prison and helps rescue children and fights against child trafficking and everything. So, and for every child she frees, she gets time off her sentence. And so, my absolute favorite interaction with that character is when David's half-orc bard began playing in the town square, and Fox decided to act like an organ grinder monkey and started dancing around the town square with a tin cup, collecting gold and silver pieces and copper pieces for just saying, oh, yeah, play, pay for the music and yada yada yada, and we collected all that money, for the party. And that still to this day is my absolute favorite moment in all of Iron Realm, was Fox and Morgru?
Morgru?
Yeah. Yeah. Just the half-orc bard and the goblin wizard just playing it up, cheesing it up in the town square in Aphameth. So, yeah.
Rhea, you had your hand up.
I just need to get mine out of my head before I forget it. So mine is going to be, relatively recent because I only joined on episode 40. But for a little bit of context, during the holiday campaign, I was accidentally stumbling in, and I started like 2 or 3 combat encounters, all by walking into a room or like opening a door several times, and I ended up accidentally starting combat encounters. And apparently the universe decided to continue the theme into the big campaign, in which first episode in, we are walking past this giant room that's completely veiled. No one can see what's in it. And since we couldn't just leave well enough alone, I think we all decided, Q, I'm pretty sure, threw a stone in there that was lit up, and we could see where the pebble was. And I thought, well, gee, I'm a rogue. Somebody has to go grab it and see if they can move it around. My stealth, I have I think a +8 modifier on my stealth. So I thought I'd be fine. I was like, oh, I've got this. Me and the party were instantly punished for my hubris, and I rolled a 5. So, okay, it was a +7 modifier, so it ended up as a 13. And what ended up being the big bad, we accidentally stumbled into the Medusa chamber. And she, came up and was like, I smell you. And then I, hightailed it out of the room, but accidentally starting the big bad encounter way before anyone else wanted to do the big bad encounter. Sorry about that, resident problem causer.
That was almost a Leroy Jenkins movement. But, you know, it was a great way to start that whole the whole set of circumstances, or and what led to, you know, y'all being able to destroy the Medusa, which, you know, quite honestly, for the longest time through that entire campaign, everybody, it seemed, was convinced that this was a basilisk. And you know, and we ran with that. Y'all ran with it for
As Bronson called it, a bath salt lick.
yeah. And when we got to the reveal of the BBG, and everybody's eyes just did this, and everyone else went, "Oh!" I mean, you could hear the collective, "Oh my gosh, that's what this was the whole time." But you know, boy, yeah, that encounter with the BBG, the Medusa, was just fantastic. So, what other stuff do y'all remember, David and Lisa?
Well, I always tend to make splashy entrances and you know, do chaotic things by wandering off on my own. Mine was the look on your face when we started one of the later encounters, and I said I was going to be riding the sheep into battle. Because I had missed an encounter, and you guys left me in the room before where the main part of the party was, which is what we normally do when somebody can't go. We either drag them along as a keep the tokens up, or we leave them somewhere safe. Well, you guys left me somewhere safe, me and the sheep. And I counted it out that if I got on the sheep, rode the sheep to his full length of movement, plus a sprint movement for the sheep, I could then jump off the sheep, come charging into battle, you know, screaming with my sword raised and all, and then get into the fray fairly immediately. The rolls didn't cooperate, but it led to the image that you made for me, that I'm going to share real quick, of my poor sheep being me riding the sheep. And if I can get the right share up, it is an AI image, so
it's beautiful.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't have the chainmail. That's underneath your. But the image is still just so poignant and was classic, because Q was running into the room to jump into the vines that were attacking Kingfisher. So it just made perfect sense.
No, electronics. It wouldn't be an Iron Realm session if electronics didn't work. I can't get the share. So Chris, when we throw this to the dungeons,
you're actually sharing it. We're seeing it.
Put it to the screen so that the viewers can see. But that image of me being, you know, angry and intense and all, and the sheep just being, you know, terrified is classic Q behavior. And the fact that I leapt off the sheep, attacked, and then failed every combat roll for that entire encounter is just, you know, classic Q.
Yes.
In his shenaniganry as he leaps into battle and being completely ineffectual.
His own particular idiom.
Yes, his own particular idiom.
Stick to your cleric spells.
Yeah.
Healing, so to speak. So, how about you, Lisa? What you know? Yes, you've only been with us 10, but you've listened and watched all the other episodes too. So, what's your take?
My favorite parts were actually after we got Grelpeck with us, and we were able to talk to him, and he would interact with people. And my favorite one was when he grabbed me by the hand and dragged me across into the library and got me special stuff, and then dragged me back in there. And I was like, and I was supposed to be able to share what happened with the group, but we all got so busy that I never got to share what I was supposed to share. And I was like, when am I going to share this? And then the next thing I know, we're finished. So I still have stuff to share.
Well, we're not actually finished. Though the main Er'fro'ren has, we've completed, or you have completed the task that the Dungeon Master has set before you. And I hate to say this, I am not the little Dungeon Master from the cartoon by any means. And I'm also not like the Dungeon Master from the movies that have come out. But our adventure continues when we come back with episode 51. And episode 51 begins, is the segue between Er'fro'ren and the beginning of our next campaign, which will be the Whispers of the Garnet Moon. We've actually advertised it the last couple of episodes. Hope that everyone is kind of on the edge of their seats, including our players, because this is going to be I firmly believe this is going to be one of what's the right word for it? As Allison said when she was little, this is the awesomestness. And I firmly believe that this is going to be an epic campaign for everyone. Yes, we will have some new adventurers, but we will also be losing a couple of our characters. They will be going on to other things, but new characters will be coming in to join us. And next week, we begin that journey and going forward with our next campaign. I don't know if it will only last 50 episodes or if it will last 100 episodes, 150, 200. I don't know. That is completely up to the party and how things go. But we will be coming back to the Kingdom of Astarag and Havenwood, then journeying on through that. I would be remiss in not saying that we have tried to keep this going with blood, sweat, and tears, and a little bit of funding here and there. Our early episodes were funded through Patreon and generosity of our players and a couple of our followers. But we are going to be opening up something new, and through Printify, you will have the opportunity. Our players already have the opportunity, but our audience will have the opportunity to purchase merchandise that will help us to fund a little bit of funding for what we do. But we are going to be donating a good portion of the funds to Extra Life, which works with kids that are in hospital care, whether it be Children's Hospital or St. Jude's or wherever the case may be. Those funds are very important, and kids should have the opportunity to be able to live an abundantly wonderful life. So a portion of everything that we make, everything that is purchased, that money will go to Extra Life. Bradley is actually sporting one of our tumblers, as well as a let's see, was it a Kingfisher Blue t-shirt which has
Lisa has like everything. Let her show.
I was gonna say hers first. Bradley's actually wearing one of our T-shirts that has the Iron Realm logo on the front. On the back is Kingfisher Blues token from our game, and a catchphrase of his and his name. So that is up for sale, as well as the tumbler that he has, which is the gigantic 20-sided die rolling through a village with villagers running every weekend.
I know you said it isn't, but I swear that's Slimer.
I think it's supposed to be a combination. It may be Slimer. It may be what is it? What am I trying to think? A beholder, but I'm not quite sure.
One deformed beholder, if it is.
It is.
Yeah,
It's a weird looking beholder, but Lisa is wearing an Iron Realm hat, as well as Iron Realm tumbler, and she's wearing is it the Aaron Stonefell hoodie, and but we've got T-shirts and we've got hats. We've got
show them the back of my shirt, Lisa.
yeah, show the back if you can.
That's amazing.
It is blurry.
It's blurred out.
It's okay. We're gonna put the link up for everybody so that you can
have a face.
We've got we will be coming out with other things. We've got keychains as well as window shields, especially in Arkansas. It gets really, really hot, so we have several of those, one of which Allison took the photograph of all the dice that are in the background of the Let's Roll and Find Out. So we have a lot of stuff, and so those items will be for sale here soon for the general public, and we may hit the Etsy store. I haven't decided yet, but yes, Rhea, what you got?
Sorry, I just wanted to, once again, my brain is all over the place, and it's probably the caffeine. I just wanted to say that when I'll send this to you when I'm finished with it, but any merch that has Lominde on it will be my own art. This will probably be the first time I've ever had my art on anything. Okay. So fun little milestone for me. I'm very excited.
Fantastic. We're hoping to put out merchandise with everyone's token and their information on it, or not information, but like a catchphrase, and that sort of thing. So, I mean, we've got Let's Roll and Find Out. Let's then Iron Realm, obviously, and then Aaron Stonefell and
Legion of the Five Fisticuffs,
and, Kingfisher Blue. But we're planning on doing this for everybody. One of the ones that people have been talking about has been it wouldn't be a D&D campaign it wouldn't be a Wednesday night D&D campaign without technical difficulties. So we will be doing that one. I just haven't gotten everything together. And Bradley and I actually have been bouncing ideas back and forth today about the Highwind Academy Owl Bears shirt, which is
Johnson's alma mater.
The Owl Bears is the mascot. So we're working on that right now. We've got a couple of different designs that we're looking at.
He made it through Highwind Academy on a gnome tossing scholarship, athletic scholarship. Right. So yeah,
that's right. The thing here is that this is just an extension of our creative aspect of the campaign, and just the Iron Realm in general. I had no idea that this would be as wonderful as it has been for the last 6+ years. You and our audience have all made this just a wonderful experience for me. And as we have always said, we are family. We are a family. when someone is having issues, we come to each other. Dave was like, yeah, when they kind of. But if someone's having an issue, someone needs to talk about something that's going on in our lives, we have the opportunity to sit at the table and talk together. We communicate with each other almost every day, and you all are the closest friends and family to me.
If people, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, if people think D&D isn't therapy, oh my gosh,
No,
this group has gotten me through the death of my father, the death of my mother, and my divorce. And you've been steadfast through all of that, and I don't think I would be here making this episode if it weren't for this group, on camera and off. So if you need friends, find you a good D&D group, folks.
And that's part of the reason why we have the T-shirt that we have now that says, if one member of the party is attacked, we all roll for initiative. We're all there to support each other through thick and thin. And you, the audience member, you are part of our family as well. And watching us each week, we really do appreciate that. We ask that you continue to support us by watching and telling others about the Iron Realm. We want this to get bigger and bigger and bigger if we can. But if it stays small, we're fine with that too. I will always be available to do whatever needs to be done. And I know that
I would not turn down Matt Mercer money, however.
Yeah. If it ever comes to pass, it will come to pass through the efforts of everybody here, as well as you as the audience. I want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of this 50th celebration. Thank you to Graham for opening us up this evening with his wonderful reading of the text and the reading of the scripture according to the Iron Realm. But I promise you that the best is yet to come, and for not just for our adventurers, but also for our audience, and for those who potentially will become our audience. Thank you so much for being with us. Until we meet again next week for episode 51, let's roll.
In shadows where the iron echoes call, a path unseen through the jagged fall, whispers of the past, secrets tightly drawn. We tread the realm where darkened spirits yawn. Ghostly figures dance, lost in twilight's haze. The Iron Realm unfolds in a chilling gaze. Journey through the dark where the iron hearts bleed. Embrace the shadows, feed the endless need. In a realm so twisted, truth and myth converge. We dive into the depths as the dark thoughts surge. Across the abyss where the cold winds scream, a lantern flickers, guiding through the dream. With every step deeper, nightmares intertwine. In this forsaken lands combine. Ancient stones remember